Hi guys, this is John Adamson, the Rehab Documentation Guru, and today I'm wearing a hat because I have a cold and I like to keep my head warm. One of the side effects, I guess, of getting older. Today what we're going to do is going to look at an OT analysis, and we're going to ask the question is this analysis sending the wrong message? Because messaging is important. We've got to remember that our reviewers of our claims are people, and they're looking for how we word things to determine whether or not our care is justified or not. And I'll tell you right off the bat that this OT analysis does not quite send the right message. For more details on how to write a proper analysis, please see one of my previous videos that I put out about almost 2 months ago that details what a proper analysis should look like. But let's take a look at this one for its face value. Patient demonstrates resistive behavior towards ADL tasks, including shutting down subjects pertaining to donning, doffing clothes. So right off the bat, we see a concern, and that is the patient's resistant to care. This relates to patient rights, and if you've been to my course, I talk a little bit about this. Patients have a right to refuse care, and they have a right to informed consent. And we do deal with patients that are resistive because of various psychological and cognitive disabilities. But in this case, the first thing that comes to my mind when I read that sentence is, will therapy be effective? And if it's not effective, therefore it is not skilled. So let's go on from there. Per CNA, patient requires contact guard for upper body dressing and min assist for lower body dressing tasks. Patient requires contact guard assist for washing, drying face and hands. Now let me just stop there for a moment. One of the things that Medicare is doing is they're cracking down on a lot of cases where the patients get to about this level, contact guard, min assist, especially if you're looking at long-term care settings. But also think about this, if you're in a non-facility setting where the patient's being cared for by a caregiver, what's to prevent that caregiver from taking over their care and administering, let's say, certain techniques over time that would allow the patient to move from contact guard to supervision to modified independent, etc. So these very high level patients are being scrutinized quite a bit. And one of the things this analysis does not do is answer the question of, is there a barrier to a safe and effective discharge at this time? But let's move on from there. Patient demonstrates ability to stand for approximately 1 minute before requiring rest break. So this is what we'd probably throw under the general term of activity tolerance. And one thing that is not evident here is there an underlying impairment that's causing the activity tolerance to be a problem? It says they can only tolerate about a minute and then they need a rest break, but why did they need a rest break? Is their perceived exertion very high? Is their pulse oximetry dropping? Is their blood pressure erratic? In other words, what are the problems, the underlying impairments behind this? And that's not evident. And that really should be part of your analysis to find out the root cause of the patient only being able to stand for 1 minute. And then it says continue. And you've heard me talk about why that word is not a good word, to educate patient on importance of pacing to prevent overexertion of body. So continue is a bad word. It denotes repetitive care. One of the things Medicare specifically states they're not going to pay for. And also continuing to educate a patient. And let's assume this patient does not have their cognitive wherewithal. Continuing to educate them when we could educate a caregiver above them, in this case CNAs, to remind them to pace themselves is not really skilled. This is not looking very skilled at all. And to prevent overexertion of body. So let's get technical here. What does overexertion look like for this patient? Be objective, be specific. Talk about the safety concerns of the overexertion. And in this case, this does not look like a skilled practitioner with a license, a 4 or 2 or 6 or 8-year degree or whatever, how long they went to school. It does not look like that much skill. So this does not fit the bill for a good analysis, and it is sending the wrong message. It's saying that we should be about ready for discharge. It's saying that the patient's not really up on participating in therapy, not a good message. And it's saying that we're doing probably what is repetitive care. All bad things to say to a reviewer looking at our claim for payment. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. This is John Adamson, the Rehab Documentation Guru. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And please feel free to comment. Send me some ideas that you have for future videos. I've got a slew of them because I look at documentation all the time and I find stuff all the time to talk to. In fact, I have a backlog of stuff that I'm going to cover in future videos, but yours might be more interesting. So please subscribe and send me some commentary on what you'd like to see covered. Take care and get paid for what you do.